Good morning, everyone. Dr. Vicky here, speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center. Today is Wednesday, the 17th of July, and the moon is in Sag. Sag Moon is a fiery moon. It's an optimistic moon. It's a moon sure of its ideas, its perceptions. It is Sagittarius is an energy that likes to see the big picture, sometimes at the expense of the details. We can talk ourselves into things with the Sag Moon because of our optimism. Later tonight, the Sag Moon makes an opposition to Jupiter. Jupiter is the ruler of Sagittarius and is now in Gemini. And so it actually furthers that sense of optimism and expansion, but we can fool ourselves with too much optimism, especially if we tend toward that. It's a relatively jolly day considering the last couple of days. So it seems like we have a vice presidential candidate. Trump has picked a candidate. I actually picked J.D. Vance. We were talking about it in one of my classes, and I said I always had a feeling he was going to pick J.D. Vance. Didn't make that much, I guess, political sense according to the political experts, but when has he ever listened to the political experts? He mostly listens to his donors who give him the most money, and I heard that Musk is giving him, I don't know, millions every month until November or something, supporting him. So that's word on the street. So, yeah, I mean, I feel kind of bad for Vance's wife and children. He's married to an Indian woman, actually an American woman of Indian descent. She was born in, I believe it's California, San Diego or something. Seems like a lovely person and a very smart person. But of course, a lot of the people who are Trump supporters aren't too thrilled with any of that. And so I've heard rumblings about that, but we'll see what happens with that. I do look forward to him and Kamala Harris having some sort of debate. It'll be nice it's hard to say. I mean, it'll be nice to deal with somebody who might be talking the truth, but if he's gonna do the Trump thing, he's no dummy, but I mean, I guess it depends. But I look forward to seeing Kamala. I've missed her in that, sort of like back and forth thing, like we saw her with Kavanaugh. That was really enjoyable. So anyway, I guess we'll find out. We'll see. All that stuff will come up. But yeah, that's what's going on, guys. The same, a suspension of belief, I guess, part of it. So that's that. Just for all of us, not a bad day. Just don't be too convinced of your own opinion today, because it can get you in some trouble. And pay attention to the facts, because there are a lot of them. Okay. What's going on in the garden today? Well, a couple of new things popped up. So here we have some, this is echinacea. We used to call them black-eyed Susans, but they're actually an echinacea. We have the echinacea that's purple and this one. I've had purple echinacea before, but it hasn't really taken. Some other stuff took over, so maybe I'll try that again next year. But this year is the hydrangea I was telling you about. I think it's called Moon and Stars or stars and moons or something like that hydrangea. And then the regular hydrangea over here. And then this is the other hydrangea, the last one to bloom. So that is coming up. Some of these you've been seeing, but there's the daylilies, still pretty prolific, always have been. The cultivated globe thistle back there, lovely. And the wild thistle, which is now starting to flower, as you can see, with these purple flowers. And this is fennel. This is all over the yard. We started with one and now it's all over the yard, but it does that. It sells seeds and it's really pretty. And the wasps really like this, it seems. They like the flatness of the top. Now the pollen isn't out yet, so it's not covered in wasps, but usually it gets covered in wasps. Yeah, and then all the honeysuckle is blooming, which is lovely. The honeysuckle, and the rosemary is doing really well. We have a rosemary there. There's a rosemary up in one of those black things. Basil. It's been really hot, so those kinds of things really seem to do well. And it looks like the lavender is just passed, and I have to cut it back, see if it usually blooms again. It doesn't just bloom once, but we'll see. So that's what's going on in the garden today. I'm just looking around as I'm standing here. We're watering the garden. It's going to be a hot day, so we water it before the sun comes up over and starts to bake things. So that's what's going on here at the garden. I hope you have a great day, everyone. What a crazy time we're living in, eh? Oh, what's his name? Fell over at the convention, Giuliani, and he looked terrible. He looked kind of green, which is not good. And I think reality has finally hit him since the hello, Crow. Since it was determined that he cannot go bankrupt. So that really put a crimp in his plans. So now he's going to have to pay for what he's done. And we'll see what happens with him. I'm not going to say what I feel, but because it don't matter what I feel. It's going to matter what he does. And if he does what I think he's going to do, I wouldn't be surprised. Anyway, I know that's kind of cryptic, but you don't need to hear this stuff in the morning. Just know you're going to have a good day. And, look at the world from a larger perspective, and you may have a better understanding. Boy, there's crows all over me today. There's 2 crows going overhead. We don't usually have a lot of crows, interestingly enough. So when they come around, it usually means something. But it's also, there's also a lot of babies around now, and baby like songbirds, and they're kind of jerks with that stuff. So, all right, I'll let you go. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Namaste.